welcome back. Now, today we're going to read a story called Counting Noodles. Alright? It's about a family called the Noodles who like to count things. Alright? So pay attention while I read. Alright? Now, as I read, I will think about what happens at the beginning, in the middle, and at the end of the story. This will help me be able to tell what the story is about. Alright? That's also going to help me be able to summarize the story at the end. Alright? And remember, a summary is just telling the important things that happened in the story. Not everything, just the really important things. Alright. So, sit back, relax, because here comes Counting Noodles. Once upon a time, there was a very silly family. Everyone called them the Noodles because they were such noodle heads. Still, they were nice noodles, and they had fun together. One day, the Noodles decided to take a ride on a pond in their boat. There were 5 of them: Papa Noodle, Mama Noodle, Sister Noodle, Brother Noodle, and Baby Noodle. They put on their life jackets before they got into the boat because every noodle knows to be careful when they go out on the water. The Noodles had a lovely time rowing around the pond, and they got out once to have a picnic lunch under a tree. On the pond, they counted 7 ducks. They counted 10 turtles. They counted 1 bird with long legs and a long beak. It was standing at the edge of the pond looking for fish. Now, you've heard the beginning of this story. What important things have the Noodles done so far? What have the Noodles done? What are the important things that the Noodles have done so far? Well, the Noodles have gone out on the boat and they have started counting things. They counted things in the lake. They also got out to have a picnic. Okay? So those are the important things so far. The Noodles got in a boat and counted animals at the lake and had a picnic. Alright. When the Noodles got back to shore, Mama said to Papa, "We should count our family members to make sure nobody fell into the pond or got lost." So the Noodles all lined up in a neat row. Even though they were noodles, they were quite good at lining up. "One noodle," said Papa, pointing to his wife, who smiled. She was so relieved that she hadn't fallen out of the boat. "2 noodles," said Papa, pointing at Sister Noodle. She clapped with joy because she too was glad that she had made it safely back to shore. "3 noodles," said Papa, as he pointed to Brother Noodle. "And 4 noodles," he said, as he patted Baby Noodle on her curly head. "4, not 5, wailed Mama Noodle. "5 went out and 4 came back. One of us must have fallen into the pond." Then she began to cry, and so did the rest of the family. Alright, now, you know what happened in the middle of the story. What did Papa Noodle do? That's right, he counted all the family members to make sure they all made it back to shore safely. Alright, now, do you think he forgot something important? Let's go back, let's check. He counted Mama Noodle. He counted Sister Noodle. He counted Brother Noodle and Baby Noodle. And now they're worried because they went out with 5 people and only came back with 4. Did he mess up? Well, we'll have to see. Alright. Just then a hiker came by, and he stopped to ask what was the matter. "5 of us went out, but only 4 came back," wailed Papa Noodle. "And we don't know who is missing. It's hard to look for someone when you don't know who it is." The hiker scratched his head. "Are you sure someone fell into the pond?" he asked. "Did you hear a splash?" "No," sobbed Mama Noodle. But when we came back and counted ourselves, we counted only 4. Show me how you counted, said the hiker. So Mama, sister, brother, and Baby Noodle lined up again, and Papa began to count. 1, said Papa Noodle, pointing to his wife. 2, 3, he said, pointing to his oldest daughter and son. And 4, he said, pointing to the baby. You forgot yourself, said the hiker. They all looked startled at the idea. So Papa Noodle began to count again, starting with himself. Only this time, he counted the hiker too, so he ended up with 6. 6, said Mama Noodle. 6 isn't even 5. Somebody must have climbed into our boat when we weren't looking. I give up trying to help the Noodles, muttered the hiker as he walked away. The Noodles looked everywhere for the 6th person. They looked under their boat, under the rocks, inside their picnic basket. They even looked inside an anthill and behind a trash barrel. But they found no one else. And you know what? I bet they're still looking. Now, who tried to help Papa Noodle at the end of the story? That's right, the hiker. All right. Now, what important things went wrong? Well, when they got back to shore, they tried to count to make sure no one fell in the water. But Papa forgot to count himself. He only counted Mom, sister, brother, and Baby Noodle. He forgot to count himself. Then when a hiker came along, the hiker helped them by saying, "Did you count yourself?" to Papa Noodle. And Papa Noodle said, "Oh." So he counted himself first, and then he counted the hiker, who's not even a part of the Noodle family, and the rest of the Noodles, and ended up with 6. I think Papa Noodle's messed up quite big. All right, now, do you think you could tell the story in your own words? I'll bet you could, because you listened to the beginning, the middle, and the end, and you listened for the important parts. Now let me go back and let me summarize the story for you. Okay? See if your summary sounds the way my summary would sound. The Noodles went to the pond and went on a boat. They counted animals, and then they stopped to have a picnic. Then they counted themselves to make sure that they didn't lose anyone in the water. But Papa Noodle forgot to count himself, so they thought they lost someone. Then a hiker came along and helped them count. But Papa Noodle messed up again and counted the hiker in with his group. So then they thought they had too many people. So Papa Noodle and the Noodles looked for the extra person, but I don't think they'll ever find him or her. Alright, so that's the story of counting noodles. Now, your assignment is to complete practice book page 169. And the first thing you need to do is print out practice book page 169 and write your name at the top. Then, you need to think about the beginning of the story. Okay? You need to finish the pictures here to show the middle of the story. So what did the family do in the middle of the story? The beginning, they all got in a boat. In the middle, they did something. What did they do? They counted themselves. Okay? And then you need to draw what the Noodles kept doing at the end of the story. Now remember, they did something silly because Papa Noodle messed up and counted too many people. Alright, what were they doing? Alright, so print this out, fill in the different areas, have a person take a picture of you working and a picture of your completed work, and submit it in the submission box below when you're finished. Alright, go ahead, pause the video, and complete practice book page 169. Alright, welcome back. Can't wait to see it. I know you did a great job, and I can't wait to see how well you did on practice book page 169. But we need to review some high frequency words. Okay? So some words that you already know are I. We already know that word. You've learned it before. You know the word like. You also know the word my. And you know this word, which is see. Okay, so let's review how to spell these words, okay? Ready? I is just spelled I. Like is spelled L-I-K-E. L-I-K-E spells what? Like. Very good. All right. My is spelled M-Y. Okay? And then C is spelled S-E-E. All right. Now, I'm going to read you a poem. It's called Everybody Says. Okay? And then we're going to have to go look for some words. Okay? So, I'll read it. Follow along. Everybody says I look just like my mother. Everybody says I'm the image of Aunt B. Everybody says my nose is like my father's, but I want to look like me. All right, now your job is to look for all the I's. I'm going to read this poem again, and I want you to point to one I that you can find. Everybody says I look just like my mother. Everybody says I'm the image of Aunt B. Everybody says my nose is like my father's, but I want to look like me. Did you find the I's? I found two of them. Here's the first one that you could be pointing to, and here's the second one that you could be pointing to. Now, were you pointing to those I's? Good job. All right. Now I want you to listen and find the word like. All right. Remember, like is L-I-K-E. Here we go. Everybody says I look just like my mother. Everybody says I'm the image of Aunt B. Everybody says my nose is like my father's, but I want to look like me. Did you find the likes? I found 3. Let's see if we have the same ones. Ready? Here's the first like. Here's the second like. And here's the third like. All right? Now let's do my. Okay? So I'll read it again. You listen for the word my and point to it when you hear it. Everybody says I look just like my mother. Everybody says I'm the image of Aunt B. Everybody says my nose is like my father's, but I want to look like me. Let's see, you should be pointing to a word that is my. Let's see if you found the ones I found. Here's the first my. Here's the second my. And here's the third my that I found. Alright, last one. We went over the word see. Let's see if it's in the poem, okay? S-E-E. Listen for it and point to it if I say it. Everybody says I look just like my mother. Everybody says I'm the image of Aunt B. Everybody says my nose is like my father's, but I want to look like me. Was the word see in there? Was it in this poem? Nope, it wasn't. So you shouldn't have been pointing anywhere. Alright? Good job. Now, let's build a sentence using these words, and then we'll call it a day. Alright? So let's go. Find the word I. Point to the word I. Good job. Find the word can. We haven't had that one before. Actually, we have. You should know the can. It's one of our and words. There it is, can. I can run. Find the picture of someone running. Good job. I can run like. Find the word like. Good job. Find the word my. Good job. And I'm going to put the picture of the dog up there. And is this a complete sentence? No, it's not a complete sentence. Why is that? Because we don't have any punctuation on it. So let me pull my period up there for you. So now we have a sentence. I want you to read it first before we read it together. See if you can read it and read it out loud. Point to each word as you read it. All right, let's see if you got it right. Let's read it together, okay? I can run like my dog. Did you get it? Good job. All right. Great job today. I'll see you tomorrow.